Good evening, YouTube. Melvin, Quad Geekery. I have not watched Prey, the latest Predator movie. However, I did watch a review by Just Some Guy, and I have a slightly different take from a movie I haven't seen. So massive grains of salt. He first he also mentioned Empire of the Summer Moon. I had read that when I was in college, so I'm like, could they have women as hunters in that decentralized structure? Yeah. I mean, if they were really, really good, and if there were enough other people that were willing to work with them, yeah, I guess. Um, the reason that it would be incredibly unlikely has a lot to do with the nature. It has more to do with scarcity than patriarchy. Um, when you have a tribal system with relatively low levels of technology and specialization, um, survival requires a lot of work and different types of work. So males being on average physically larger, uh, with higher bone density, etc., etc. These are things that have been verified that um, males produce more testosterone, and while you might, I'm going to completely ignore the gender ideology because it's it's bullshit in terms of actual practical living in a world of scarcity. So just say right now, if you're talking about Neolithic levels of technology, when I say a man, I mean a male. When I say a woman, I mean an adult female. Okay? So men were on average larger than women. And because of that, the roles that women had would be those that don't require as much physical strength and dexterity, in part because of scarce resources. Consequently, if a woman had the talent to gather herbs, to discern the very subtle difference between medicine that can help someone and plants that can kill them, they can provide more value to the tribe through those skills, which are more scarce than having strong arms and the dexterity of being a hunter, since hunting was often something done with other members of the tribe as a group activity. So it's not one person going off on their own all the time. It would be a hunting party. So a group of people going hunting with those tools. Be that as it may. The other part was uh, the criticism was that she was a quote strong woman, and then another one is, it seemed really ridiculous that she went in there and just kicked this predator's ass, and I'm like, what what series have you been watching? Because I watched the first three: Predator, Predator 2, Predators, and it's very clear that this is more in line of the first three definitely were more in the most dangerous game slash, honestly, from a mythology standpoint, the predator is essentially a dragon, and the chosen hero goes through the ordeal of killing the dragon. And a hero against the dragon, contrary to what you see in movies, it's not the hero is just stronger than the dragon because they're so awesome. That's not how it works. If you beat the dragon, it's not because you're stronger than the dragon. The dragon should kick your ass any day and twice on Sunday. If you beat the dragon, it's because something is enabling you to beat the dragon beyond what you can actually do. So in this case, this is essentially technology sufficiently advanced, it's magic. she does not naturally have the ability to take this thing on, to take on the predator if it's being smart. If the predator is being smart and she doesn't have anything backing her up, she's done. I mean, even her brother, who was the best hunter, which was the reason that she's being humored as she is. Um, and I did remember watching some of the scenes on YouTube. She was not beating up all these guys because they are specifically trying to keep her from being harmed. So they're friends with him. They don't want her getting hurt. They don't think she's able to go out and do the things that they're doing as a group on her own. And we repeatedly see that she really isn't on the same level as them. She's not on the same level as her brother in terms of one-on-one combat. That she has to use what skills she has that are different than theirs. She's able to use the herbs, which makes it harder for the predator to detect her, which her brother doesn't have. So it wasn't her skills as a hunter that gave her the ability to win. It was integrating her skills as a hunter as well as a medicine woman, which incidentally she did, etc., etc. So, Dragon, Predator, George, whoever the hero is in the respective movies. Now, the first one, obviously Arnie, Dutch. Second, Harrigan freaking kills the Predator on its own ship with its own disc weapon. Yeah. Royce and Isabel. This is another case where, if we're being honest, if you watch that last scene, you realize the Predator is essentially positioning itself several times just to get put over, just to put over the heroes. Instead of killing Royce outright, Royce is then flung. The Predator walks, gives his back, so gives Isabel the opportunity, get the sniper rifle, put the bullet into the Predator. The Predator wounds but doesn't kill Isabel, which in turn leaves him with his back turned so that Royce can deliver the blows with the axe, and the Predator dies, and George has slain the dragon. That's Predator 3. Now, if you're noticing, this could also be more in line with a classic slasher as opposed to general horror. If we're talking slasher, then we've got your overachieving Laurie Strode. We've got our spunky working class Sarah Connor. And we've got hyper competent Ellen Ripley. All of that is to just drive home this idea of this is going back to basics. I haven't seen Prey. I don't have Paramount Plus. What I have seen indicates that the person who made this really took the Predator franchise and set it firmly in the camp of slasher horror. Now, if it's executed well, obviously, you can do a lot of great things with sci-fi slasher horror, and it can work. If it's not done well, you get the Predator. It's that simple. So, with that in mind, have a great night.